it's a lot like a certain company that you and I both know. The
Uh-huh.
the view is one of the biggest views, and one of the biggest things that I noticed a lot is it's all about growth, all about growing, all
Mhm.
about more money, more money, more money, more money, more students, more
Yep.
students, more students. And
Mhm.
maybe I just gave that away.
That's
Shouldn't have.
all right.
Like, and that's what it was. And then I was looking at it and looking at these things, and that attitude crept into so much of it, and then it just kind of stopped being about them, and more about people's egos, and I don't know. So I'm kind of the opinion that when you have a company that has a larger sales force than your than like a sales force bigger than the team that's making the product that you are selling, you are no longer, that company is now no longer about that product. It's all about the sales.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of where I'm starting, like I'm falling as far as opinions about companies and stuff. So like, good.
I would challenge you on that in many cases, but I don't know if I can in this particular case. The You have to define, I think at every point you have to define the ratios that are going to help make serve your product. If your product obviously is the one-on-one attention,
Hmm.
that's a big factor. You can't let that go, which is kind of easy to do, right? It's easy to get wrapped up around the dollars in the sense, and forget what your real purpose is.
Yeah. Well, and that's the view. Um, because there's another company that I was at where their business development team was small,
Hmm.
um, but their engineering team was massive. Like it was huge.
Yep.
Um, so it was something like 8 engineers to one business development person,
Hmm.
something like that. It was big,
Hmm.
and they were landing massive clients with
Yep.
like massive contracts and stuff.
Yep.
And a lot of that is just because that's how they did build and design themselves. And it was really cool because it was very sustainable growth for the
Hmm.
company.
Yep.
Their problem was not necessarily like they were, in some ways, they were growing a little too fast,
Uh-huh.
because there weren't enough engineers that they could hire. Uh,
Yep.
Excuse me. And
So
particularly, what?
yeah, I'm guessing this is that secret company where you're making nuclear weapons for Pakistan. Oh, I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
joking. But something where there's a high ticket, high. I'm assuming it's a higher ticket item than where you know you have less clients, but less possible clients perhaps. And
You know,
uh,
they had a ton of possible clients.
oh, really?
Like they would constantly be getting people coming to them for, hey, I need help with this.
Hmm.
And it ranged from one person who had a tiny idea, which the
Yep.
company couldn't, like, was like, no, you don't have the capital to work with us, all the way up to massive Fortune 500 companies, like
Hmm.
that type of a range of people coming to the company.
Okay.
um, the reason why it worked is because the company worked very hard to develop a phenomenal reputation for themselves
Hmm.
within that Fortune 500 group. Because once they developed that reputation within that massive group, it
Hmm.
started trickling down to everybody else. And then they started getting so much inflow and everything
Hmm.
that the business development team could then pick and choose carefully what projects to start pursuing and what
Yeah, that's
clients
cool.
to pursue.
Hmm.
That's how they did their business. That's how it worked for them.
Hmm.
It's not like they were going. They advertised. They absolutely advertised. They sent out like certain companies would say would put out they would what is it, a request for spec RFS, or
Okay.
request for I don't know, request for something. It's basically a, hey, we are looking to make something. All app companies out there, all business companies out there, all enterprise companies, whatever,
Hmm.
come show us what you've got.
Yep.
And so they this company would see those offers and see those things and would go after those too.
Uh-huh.
Um, and they advertised everything as well. They had advertisements where they targeted people. Um, and it was just they were very careful about how they built that business development thing, because one of the things that they didn't want to do is turn into a sales company where they just had nothing but salesmen and were just selling things constantly,
Hmm.
that they couldn't do, because there's only so much that you can do where you have a massive sales team, and there's only
Yeah.
so much you can. So that's how they developed it and everything. And I think like that is phenomenal, because they were able to keep a very personalized touch on all of their clients and such.
Hmm.
And they were able to do like what we're talking about here, which is create some super fans within those
Yeah. And it
industries.
does, right? You got your customer service relationship down to your engineer, your development, right? Whatever your
Hmm.
product development is.
Yep,
And that's a happy combination.
it
Sometimes it's
is.
hard to find that balance. Depends.
Hmm. And it takes a long time to build. That's the other part of it. So they were able to sustain themselves and stuff. But like this other company that you and I are talking about, I'm like, they can't. They can't sustain that. They're not going to be able to. There's going to become there's going to come a point in which things are going to start falling apart, if or falling through the cracks, if it hasn't already.
Hmm.
And so it's kind of like, all right, because you all are so focused on growth and trying to grow and get sales and stuff, you're missing a huge part of certain things, and you're not like doing your best to work with people. Um, you're in, and on top of that, you're picking and choosing certain things to focus on, and you're not focusing on like the stuff that you should be really focusing on, if that makes any sense.
You know what? Let's talk about more about them kind of in our
Yeah,
post call, because it's an
we can.
interesting topic. We can kind of delve into that in a little bit of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the last thing that he talks about to create super fans is offering platinum access, which is basically just offering a VIP type experience. But the thing is, like, I think the big thing with that is you have to, in order to offer a good VIP experience, your base experience has to also be good. You can't just say, "All right, there's you know what? No, there's the Fire Festival is a phenomenal example of this.
Okay.
If anybody has paid attention, Fire this it was it was basically a scam. This guy was going on and on and on about trying about getting people to come to an island to have this amazing experience with food, with music and stuff. It was basically going to be like a beyond Coachella thing, beyond Burning Man thing, like much bigger than better than that. And so
Oh.
he sold tons of VIP experience things and stuff like that. Um, but what ended up happening is when people got to that island, they were sleeping in tents, and they were getting like these little boxed lunches
Oh
when they
boy.
were like promised these massive food spreads and stuff.
Hmm.
And so, so it's like all these massive, huge celebrities sleeping in tents on an island,
With
like four or
lunchboxes
five, yeah, with
with a
that.
bag,
And
brown bag lunch.
yep, yep. And they had spent so much money on it. And it's just like, wow.
So funny. You know, That's an experience, right? And sometimes
Yep.
it's hard to replicate something like that.
So anyway, that's reason why I bring that up is because like the base experience, if your base experience is tents and stuff, and your VIP experience is a super massive hotel, that's not good. You don't want that disparity because people are going to be like,
No, no, I think that's fine. Oh, come on.
uh
No, no, that's seriously, that's fine as long as it's known, right? You have an event. There's one hotel in the area. First
huh.
come, first serve VIP, and the rest of you guys are getting tents. Enjoy it or not. It's
Well,
like a concert, right? You got the
you do
nice,
get that with certain concerts, yes.
yeah, with almost every concert. I mean, come on.
It's like Taylor
So
Swift and
what's the
Beyonce.
difference,
They're going to like football stadiums and stuff. Like
right?
I to be honest with you, these days I don't like. I think going to concerts. I'm gonna make a lot of people angry. I'm sure when I say this. I think live concerts when you get to a certain size are stupid, and I think yeah. I'm being blunt here. And this is my opinion. And yes, I'm looking down on you if you are if you are a fan and you go to like these massive concerts. I think it's stupid because the problem is that for the vast majority of people, they're not going to be able to afford the um, the tickets that get you to a point where you can actually watch and see the person. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I think you are better off going to a movie theater and paying money to be at a theater to watch the concert at a theater where you get like videos and stuff and you can actually see the person than you are to go to these concerts because then you're sitting there in these like nosebleed seats and the person is like this tiny little speck and you can't
Mm-hmm.
see them and you have to look at the jumbotron anyway to watch that person. I think you're wasting your money. I think it's dumb. I think it's just yeah.
Some of it's about the spiritual experience, about being around the group of
I
people,
understand.
the just the pure energy that you can't get in a thing. Even if you can't really see, because I'm still on the beehive kick, right? So
Even though you
um
can't see Queen Bee.
you're right, I can't see Queen Bee, but I know the trail is out there. I got all the other bees buzzing, right? I got good energy. There's beautiful girls bouncing around. There's handsome guys bouncing around, right? I'm just happy as be as you can imagine. I mean, and
uh-huh.
if I paid 20, 80 bucks, I pay so much going to a
But
theater that's just a recorded thing with no real energy.
you're not
So
really paying like 20 or $80. You're paying way more than
I got to do my research for my beehive, but whatever it
that.
costs to be in the presence of that queen bee, I'm there.
I see, and I do understand the whole idea of you're at a concert and you've got thousands of people and you've got the energy, like all of that energy. I do understand that, but to me, I guess the point of going to a concert is being able to actually see the artist live and see them and be like and enjoy that. And I when you get to a certain size, it doesn't make sense to me. I think it's
Sometimes you
I
go
think
for
it's
the
dumb.
t-shirt.
There's that. No, I to me it doesn't do anything for me. It just does
I,
not.
I know, and I get it, right? Us developers were the happiest people in the world when COVID locked everybody down.